What if I told you that the very first 5 minutes after you open your eyes could shape the next 30 years of your life? Not through pills, not through surgery, but through simple choices that carry both ancient wisdom and modern science. Each morning, as you wake, your body, your mind, and even your spirit wait quietly for instruction. It's like a ship at harbor, ready to sail, but waiting for the captain's command. If you rise rushed and scattered, your whole day follows that course. But if you rise with calm intention, your hours, your weeks, and even your years will reflect that strength. In this journey, I want to share with you 5 gentle rituals together. They take less than 5 minutes, yet they can protect your heart, sharpen your mind, steady your balance, and keep your muscles strong well beyond 65. And here's the part that may surprise you. The very first ritual could reduce one of the greatest risks facing older adults every single morning. I'll reveal it in just a moment, and as we go, you'll notice how each step naturally leads to the next, building a morning rhythm that can add not just years to your life, but life to your years. If this message resonates with you already, I invite you to stay with me to the end and consider passing this wisdom along to a friend who may need it too. If you believe your health is worth 5 minutes each morning, give this video a like right now, and let's begin. Ritual number 1, hydration. When the morning light first touches your face, you may feel as though your body has rested enough. Yet deep inside, something quite different is happening. As you slept, your body slowly lost water through your breath, through your skin, through the silent work of repairing cells. By the time you open your eyes, you are already in a state of mild dehydration. Whether you feel it or not, this hidden loss matters, especially as the years advance. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic have long noted that heart attacks and strokes occur most often in the early morning hours. Why? Because when the body is short on water, blood becomes thicker, forcing the heart to work harder. For older adults, whose vessels and hearts are already under strain, those early hours are a vulnerable time. And yet, many of us begin our mornings by reaching straight for coffee. It is familiar, comforting, part of the American routine, but coffee, as warming as it feels, draws even more water out of the body. Others rush to their day without a single sip, waiting hours before taking in fluids. Both choices place the body at greater risk, right at the moment it needs the most care. The remedy, however, could not be simpler. Before coffee, before breakfast, before turning on the news, begin your morning with 1 glass of room temperature water, brightened with the juice of a quarter lemon. That's it. This gentle act resets your system in ways that might surprise you. Why room temperature? You may wonder, cold water constricts blood vessels, tightening the very pathways you need to open as your circulation restarts. After hours of stillness, your body needs to expand, not contract. Room temperature water enters softly, welcoming flow instead of resisting it. And that wedge of lemon, it does far more than add taste. Lemon juice carries vitamin C, potassium, and natural cleansing agents. While your liver worked all night filtering toxins, the lemon helps flush them away. It also awakens digestion, preparing your system to receive nourishment. Many who adopt this habit describe less morning sluggishness, fewer digestive troubles, and a steadier start to the day. Consider the story of Harold Thompson, a retired carpenter from Texas. In his early 70s, Harold began noticing dizzy spells in the morning. His daughter, a nurse, urged him to drink water with lemon before his coffee. At first, he shrugged it off as a fad, but after a minor scare, an episode of chest tightness, he gave it a try. Within weeks, he noticed that the fog lifted more quickly each morning. His heartbeat steadied, his skin looked healthier, and he felt more alert. Now in his 80s, Harold swears by that glass of water as his first line of defense. It feels, he says with a smile, like I'm giving my body a head start every day. Science echoes Harold's experience. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who increased morning hydration had better cardiovascular stability throughout the day. Another study linked hydration to improved memory recall. What seems like a simple glass of water is, in truth, fuel for both body and brain. To make this practice stick, prepare the night before. Place a glass of water and a slice of lemon on your nightstand. When you wake, it is there waiting for you. The very first act of self-care you perform before your feet touch the ground. This small preparation can make all the difference. And if you worry about acidity, know this: once inside the body, lemon juice has an alkalizing effect. It soothes rather than harms. And if citrus is not your preference, plain water is still healing. The power lies in the ritual, not in perfection. Imagine tomorrow morning, instead of stumbling groggily toward the coffee pot, you sit upright and lift a glass of water to your lips. The coolness slides gently down your throat, spreading freshness into your chest. You feel awake, renewed. That simple sip is a declaration. My health matters. My years still matter. My body deserves care. This is the first gift of the day, and it is entirely in your hands. With each glass, you're not only quenching thirst, you're honoring the miracle of your body, the heart that beat faithfully through the night, the lungs that never stop breathing. It is gratitude in its simplest form. So tomorrow, before the rush of the world claims your attention, lift that glass of water, sip slowly, feel it wash through you, because in that moment, you are not just drinking, you are preparing your body to live, not merely to survive. And as good as hydration feels, water is only the beginning. Once you have honored your cells with this first healing gift, there is another ritual waiting, one that takes only a minute, yet has the power to keep your balance steady and your mind clear. Let us move to that next step together. Ritual number 2. Gentle movement. After you've taken that first healing glass of water, your body has begun to stir, but hydration alone is not enough. Imagine a car that has fuel in the tank, but whose engine is still cold. It cannot run smoothly until the oil warms and the parts begin to move. Your body is much the same. After 7 or 8 hours of stillness, your circulation has slowed, your joints have stiffened, and your muscles have cooled. If you try to leap out of bed and rush into the day, you may find yourself dizzy, unsteady, or foggy. For older adults, that unsteadiness can be dangerous. Doctors at Johns Hopkins have studied why falls are most common in the early morning hours. It isn't always weakness or clumsiness, it's haste. The body is still asleep, but the mind is already racing ahead. When you force yourself upright without preparing, your blood pressure drops suddenly, leading to dizziness. Your joints are stiff, making balance harder to maintain. That is why a simple stumble to the bathroom can result in a fall that changes everything. But there is a gentler way. Instead of attacking the day, you can greet it. Instead of dragging a reluctant body into action, you can honor it with a moment of awakening. This is the essence of the second ritual. Gentle movement. It takes only 1 minute. Stand beside your bed with your feet shoulder-width apart. Take a deep breath, raising your arms slowly toward the ceiling as if you are greeting the rising sun. Hold that breath for a moment, then exhale, lowering your arms as you release the heaviness of sleep. Do this 3 times. Next, roll your shoulders back 5 times, then forward 5 times. Each roll loosens the stiffness gathered overnight. Then gently rotate your neck from side to side, as though you are slowly saying no to yesterday's burdens. Tilt your head slightly forward and back, loosening the tension at the base of your skull. Finally, lift your heels slowly off the ground and lower them again 10 times in total. This small act pumps blood upward, clears dizziness, and steadies your balance. In just 60 seconds, you have invited circulation, oxygen, and clarity back into your body. Think of this as tuning an instrument. A violin cannot play beautifully until its strings are adjusted. Likewise, Your body cannot perform at its best until you prepare it with gentle motion. Consider the story of Eleanor James, a retired teacher from Chicago in her late 60s. She often felt wobbly when she first got up. She assumed it was simply part of aging. Then one morning, she slipped in her kitchen and bruised her hip. Her doctor explained the importance of easing into the day and suggested she try a brief mobility routine before walking away from the bed. At first, Eleanor doubted that 60 seconds could change much, but within weeks, she noticed the difference. No more morning dizziness, no more shaky steps. She felt steadier, sharper, and even more cheerful. Now in her mid-70s, she leads a small morning wake-up circle at her community center, teaching others the same routine. She tells them, "This 1 minute gave me back my confidence." Science agrees. Studies show that even 1 minute of intentional movement after waking improves blood flow to the brain, reduces the risk of falls, and boosts mood for the day ahead. It is not an exercise in the traditional sense, it is awakening. And here is the beauty of it. You don't need equipment, a gym, or even much space. You can do it in your bedroom, in a hotel, or even while visiting family. It belongs to you, and you can take it anywhere. This ritual is more than physical. Each breath, each roll of the shoulders, each rise onto your toes is a way of saying thank you. Thank you to the legs that carried you yesterday, to the heart that kept beating through the night, to the lungs that never stopped. It is gratitude in motion. Tomorrow morning, when the urge to rush pulls at you, pause instead, plant your feet, lift your arms, breathe deeply, move gently. Let your body know that you respect its years of service and wish to begin the day together. Not in conflict, gentle movement is a promise you make to yourself that you will not let aging dictate decline. You will meet each day with strength and balance, one mindful minute at a time. And as important as movement is, it is only the beginning, because once your blood is flowing and your joints are awake, there is a hidden danger waiting inside one that slowly eats away at your strength if you don't address it. In our next ritual, we will talk about nourishment and why what you do in the first half hour after waking may determine whether your muscles remain strong for years to come. Ritual number 3, nourishment. Now that your body has been hydrated and gently awakened, it is ready for the next essential gift, nourishment. You see, after a full night's rest, your body is in what scientists call a fasted state. It has been many hours since your last meal, and your system is searching for energy. If it does not receive nutrition soon, it begins a process called catabolism, breaking down its own muscle tissue to create fuel. This silent process can be dangerous for older adults. Each year after 65, the body naturally loses muscle mass, left unchecked. This loss leads to frailty, weakness, and eventually, falls that rob independence. Sarcopenia. The wasting of muscle is one of the leading causes of disability among seniors, and the cruel part is that it happens quietly, day by day, while you may not even notice until it is too late. But here is the good news. You can fight back, and it doesn't take much. By giving your body clean protein within 30 minutes of waking, you protect your muscles from being consumed. You send a clear signal. Don't eat away at my strength. I am feeding you. This small act stops catabolism in its tracks. And the best part, you don't need a full country breakfast to do it. A small protein shake, a cup of Greek yogurt, or a couple of boiled eggs will do. Even something as simple as cottage cheese with berries or a spoonful of nut butter can provide the necessary building blocks. What matters most is consistency. Think of Mr. Robert Ellis, a retired mail carrier in Florida. At 70, he noticed that climbing stairs felt harder and his arms seemed weaker. His doctor explained that without protein in the morning, his body was slowly eating away at his own muscles. Robert was skeptical but decided to try a daily shake milk, banana, and a scoop of protein powder. Within months, he felt the difference. His steps became lighter, his posture straighter, and his energy steadier throughout the day. Now in his late 70s, Robert still carries groceries with ease and often jokes that his morning shake keeps him young enough to play catch with his grandson. Science agrees with Robert's story. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consume protein early in the day preserved up to 60% more muscle over 5 years than those who delayed it. Another study showed that morning protein helps stabilize blood sugar, reducing energy crashes and cravings later in the day. And because protein supports neurotransmitters in the brain, it sharpens focus and memory. So tomorrow, don't think of breakfast as an indulgence. Think of it as insurance. Insurance for your muscles, for your balance, for your independence. By feeding your body early, you are making a deposit into your strength account, an account you will draw upon when you need to rise from a chair, walk up a hill, or simply carry a grandchild into your arms. And here's a practical tip. Prepare the night before. Boil a couple of eggs and store them in the fridge. Place a scoop of protein powder in a shaker bottle, ready for water or milk. Set aside a small yogurt cup where you can see it. These small steps remove the barriers that so often keep good intentions from becoming habits. Tomorrow morning, after your water and your gentle movement, take in that nourishment. Let it be light but purposeful. As you do, remind yourself, I am feeding my strength. I am protecting my independence. But muscles alone cannot carry you through life, even if they are strong. If your joints are stiff and painful, freedom slips away. That is why the next ritual is equally important. Once you have fed your body, it is time to care for the hinges that make every step, every reach, every dance possible in our next ritual. We'll talk about mobility, the difference between moving with grace and living in limitation. Ritual number 4, mobility. Muscles give us strength, but without flexible joints, that strength cannot be used freely. Imagine a door with a strong frame but rusty hinges. It cannot open smoothly. No matter how solid the wood is, our bodies work the same way. Strong muscles matter, but without mobility, every movement becomes a struggle. During the night, as you lie still, the fluid that cushions your joints, the synovial fluid, thickens. This makes your knees, hips, and shoulders feel stiff when you first wake. If you try to move too quickly, bones rub against one another, creating friction that leads to pain, inflammation, and eventually long-term damage. For many older adults, this stiffness becomes so familiar that they accept it as normal aging. But stiffness is not destiny. It is a warning that the joints need attention. The answer is simple and takes no more than 90 seconds. Sit on the edge of your bed and rotate each ankle 10 times in each direction. This pumps fluid back into the joints, lubricating them for the day ahead. Then, rotate your knees gently, as if you are tracing small circles. Stand with a sturdy chair in front of you for balance, and twist your torso slowly left and right, waking the spine. Finally, lean side to side, stretching your hips, and roll your shoulders once more. These gentle movements do more than ease stiffness. They tell your body, I value the freedom to move. In that short moment, you are not just loosening joints, you are preserving independence. Think of Patricia White, a grandmother from Ohio who loved to dance. In her early 70s, she stopped attending her Friday night community dances because her knees ached each morning. She thought her dancing days were over. But when her granddaughter introduced her to a short mobility routine, Patricia agreed to try. Within weeks, the stiffness began to fade. She found she could bend, twist, and sway again. At 76, she returned to the dance floor, laughing that those 90 seconds each morning gave her back her rhythm. Mobility is not about exercise. It is about freedom. The freedom to drive, to garden, to play with grandchildren, to live without fear of falling or pain. Lose mobility, and even the smallest tasks, tying shoes, carrying laundry, reaching for a high shelf become battles. Preserve it, and life remains open, active, and full of choice. Research confirms this truth. Studies in geriatric health show that seniors who practice daily mobility routines experience less pain, fewer falls, and greater confidence in daily activities. And confidence itself is powerful. When you believe you can move safely, you are more likely to stay active. And activity keeps joints healthier. It becomes a circle of strength and freedom. The beauty of mobility exercises is that they require no equipment, no special skills, just patience and respect for your body. Think of it as greeting each joint with kindness, reminding it that you still need and cherish its service. So tomorrow morning, once you have hydrated, move gently and nourish your strength. Take those 90 seconds, rotate, stretch, twist, let the fluid flow, let the stiffness dissolve. And as you do, imagine the doors of your life swinging wide open, not rusty and stuck, but smooth and free. But even with a strong body and flexible joints, something vital remains. For what use is strength if the mind grows cloudy? What use is freedom if memory fades? The final ritual turns inward, to the part of us that defines who we are. It is the ritual of mental clarity, a practice that sharpens thought, strengthens memory, and preserves wisdom as the years go on. Let us turn there next. Ritual number 5, mental clarity. By now, your body has received water, movement, nourishment, and mobility. You have honored the vessel that carries you. But there is one more gift to give yourself each morning, and it may be the most important of all: clarity of mind. A strong body can help you walk, climb, and reach. But it is the mind that guides those steps. It is the mind that remembers the faces of loved ones, that tells the stories of your life, that holds the wisdom gathered over decades. And yet, as we age, memory may grow cloudy, thoughts scattered, focus harder to hold. Many accept this as inevitable. But what if, in just 1 or 2 minutes each morning, you could strengthen your mind the same way you strengthen a muscle? The practice is simple. Before the noise of the world enters, before television, before phone calls, before news, sit quietly, close your eyes, breathe gently, and then recall the day before in reverse. Start with the evening. What did you eat for dinner? What conversations did you have? Then move backward. What did the afternoon look like? Who did you see? What color was the sky? Keep moving back, piece by piece, until you reach the moment you woke yesterday. This small act builds something neuroscientists call cognitive reserve. Think of it as a savings account for the brain. Each time you practice recall, you strengthen pathways between neurons, building alternate routes for memory and thought. Later in life, when natural aging or even illness tries to block one path, your brain can take another. Those with greater cognitive reserve remain sharper, more adaptable, even when others around them begin to falter. Consider Margaret Hayes, a retired librarian in New York. In her late 70s, she began noticing small lapses, misplaced keys, forgotten names, rather than despair. She turned to a practice a friend had shared, remembering the day in reverse each morning. At first, it felt awkward, but soon it became her favorite ritual. Within months, she noticed she could recall not just events, but details. The color of a scarf, the sound of birds outside her window, the exact words of a grandchild's joke. Now in her 80s, Margaret says, this practice keeps my mind alive. It reminds me I'm still here, still learning, still present. Science supports her experience. Researchers at Harvard have confirmed that daily recall practices improve not just memory, but attention and emotional resilience. By training the brain to notice and remember, older adults stay more engaged with life. They become less anxious about forgetting and more confident in their ability to think clearly. But beyond the science, there is a deeper meaning. This ritual is not only about memory, it is about presence. By reflecting on yesterday, you honor the gift of time. You remind yourself that each day holds moments worth remembering, no matter how small: a smile from a neighbor, the taste of warm soup, the glow of sunset through autumn leaves. To recall these details is to say, my life matters, and I am paying attention. This practice also invites gratitude. As you remember, you may notice things you overlooked in the moment: the kindness of a stranger, the comfort of a familiar chair, the laughter of a loved one. By bringing these memories forward, you begin the new day not only with clarity, but with thankfulness. Imagine tomorrow morning. You sit in silence, eyes closed, and walk backward through yesterday. At first, you may recall only the larger events, but with practice, details return: the sound of rain on the roof, the smell of morning coffee, the blue of the sky at noon. Each day, your mind becomes sharper, more attentive, more alive. And here is the most beautiful part. This ritual takes only 1 or 2 minutes. Yet over time, those minutes may add years of clarity to your life. They may allow you to hold on to names, to share stories, to savor memories long after others have faded. You have given your body water, strength, and freedom. Now, you have given your mind clarity and peace. These 5 rituals together form not just a routine, but a morning ceremony, a daily honoring of your years and your wisdom. Soon, we will gather them all into a final thought. But before we do, pause and consider: what would it mean for you to carry both strength of body and clarity of mind into the years ahead? How would it feel to wake each day not only alive, but truly awake? That is the promise of these 5 minutes. Final thought. So here we are, my friends. 5 minutes, 5 rituals: hydration to restore your cells, gentle movement to awaken your circulation, nourishment to feed your strength, mobility to preserve your freedom, and clarity to sharpen your mind. The world often tells us that aging is nothing more than decline, that after 65 the best years are behind us. But I do not believe that, and I hope you no longer believe it either. These 5 minutes prove that the story of your life is still being written. Every morning, you are given a choice: to stumble into the day scattered and weary, or to rise with calm, focus, and quiet power. Imagine the next decade of your life. You could skip these moments and watch strength, balance, and clarity slowly unravel, or you could honor them and find yourself thriving well into your 70s, 80s, even 90s with confidence, peace, and wisdom. The difference is not chance. The difference is choice. And the best part, you don't need perfection. You don't even need to start with all 5 at once. Choose one ritual tomorrow. Let it become your anchor. Then add another, and another, until your mornings become not a rush, but a ceremony, your sacred time of honoring the body that has carried you and the mind that still has so much to offer. If this message has touched you, I invite you to share it with someone you care about, perhaps a friend, a sibling, or a neighbor who could use a reminder that their years are still rich with possibility. And if you'd like to continue walking this path of wisdom together, I welcome you to join this community by subscribing, so you never miss the guidance and encouragement you deserve. Remember, you are not here simply to survive these years. You are here to thrive in them with peace, with strength, and with wisdom. That is the promise of these 5 minutes. And tomorrow morning, when the sun rises, that promise can begin with you.